there, friends. Today I have a new product video for you. The lovely people at Paul Rubens decided to send me the new set of 72 soft pastels. Now, previous to this, there were, I think, 2 boxes, one for sure, because I bought it myself about a year ago. I will have the review for this one linked up above here for you. So now it's time to review the set of 72. I'm pretty excited to see what the color palette is in that one, because the first set that I bought, it was a muted, darker color range, which is fine if you're doing landscapes. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what these are all like, if the quality is the same. If I recall, it was pretty good quality in the first box, so I'm really excited to get into this. And I absolutely love opening up a fresh box of pastels. There's just something so satisfying about it. So I'm going to share that experience with all of you. All right, let me flip you around and get going. Exciting, exciting. I love opening up a new box of pastel. So as I have already stated, this is Paul Ruban's Artist Soft Pastels. I will have all the information down below where you can get it, how much it costs, all that good stuff. Okay, these are handmade. Some other information about them. Here is a swatch card. I'll fill this out and I will also do my own. Ta-da! These are much brighter than the first box. Look at those beautiful, vibrant colors. There are some neutrals in here too. But yeah, for the most part, these are very vibrant, beautiful colors. This was the first set. This had a lot of neutrals. A couple pops of color. We had a red, like a periwinkle, a couple of yellows. For the most part, there were a lot of darker tones. So these two sets together are fantastic. I used the little swatch card. I didn't do my own swatches, which was really strange, so I might go ahead and do all of this today. But yeah, here are the swatches from the first box. This is the big box. Let's peek to see if we have duplicate colors. Well, it's a little hard to tell because these are just 3 numbers and these are 6. All right, so this is a card I made a while ago to help people know how soft or hard the pastels I'm trying out are. Everybody has their own personal preference. My favorite pastels, and the majority of what's in my studio box, are Sennelier. I also really like Blue Earth. So on my scale over here, these are not in order. My scale over here, I have Sennelier and Blue Earth as a number 2. 1, Schmidt being the softest. When I tried the first set of Paul Rubens, I had it at a 3. So I initially thought these were just a little bit harder than a Sennelier or a Blue Earth pastel. Comparison-wise, I think they were much like unisons. I think Terry Ludwig is still just 1 step harder than what I found the Paul Rubens to be. But now, it's been a year. Maybe they reformulated. Maybe they did something. It could be different. So we will test that out today. But just in case you wondered, this is what I thought the first round. I always pause for a second before I get into a fresh box and mully grub it up. Just peek at how beautiful, pristine it is. Well, they're not made to look at, so let's break it out, do some swatches. I'm not going to bore you with swatches. I'm going to do my swatches and let you see them, and then we're going to do an actual piece of art. So, let's get right into it. Right, my hands are all dirty. I've got all these swatched. Let me move this one. Beautiful colors. Just beautiful. Now, these are hand rolled. These did not come from a machine. So if you are irritated by inconsistent shapes and textures, this isn't going to be the set for you, okay? These are handmade, so you're going to get some that are not the same size as the one next to it. I don't mind those things, so, you know, that's not a deal breaker for me. But if it is for you, take that under consideration. Now, what I did notice between this brand new set and the original set is that they are more consistent from this set. This one had, I take for instance this red one here. You know, pretty decent size. Well, this one right here is in the same set, right? That's a huge difference. There wasn't those kind of differences in the size of the roll. That's not what I'm talking about with this set. They're all about the same size. I'm talking about, you know, it looks kind of crumbly in some places. They're not the straightest. You know, these are hand-rolled. They're not perfect. Now, something else I was noticing as I swatched all of these, and by the way, I also went back and made better swatches of this first set, which isn't, I still think that's a strange color palette. Very moody, but this big set doesn't have that many blues or grays or bright reds, and that's what this set has. So there's that. But I was swatching these, and I'm like, gee, are they really any harder than Sennelier? They're soft. They're definitely not a Schmidtke soft. Maybe not a Blue Earth soft, but I don't know if they're that much harder than Sennelier, so I just grabbed one, a pink one. Let me find a color that's comparable. Slightly. Okay. There's a difference, but it's barely a difference. Just barely. I was just making sure my initial assessment of how hard it was correct, and I think I got it. It's a very soft pastel, just under Sennelier. I stand by that statement. Now, I did my initial swatches on Canson Miten's pastel paper. I'm about ready to use them on some sanded paper. I don't know if I'm going to use Luxe or what I'm going to grab for. But I just wanted to give you a zoom in. I did have one crumble on me. The blue broke. Some of them look like they might crumble, but actually didn't. They're pretty, got some holes in it, but it didn't crumble. They look more fragile than they are, I believe. I even tried to make some of them crumble, and they didn't. But yeah, overall, so far, I'm pretty happy. This purple is very nice. It's not as deep as the Terry Ludwig eggplant that everybody is in love with, but it's close of that purple. Not as dark. It still has some nice purple showing through, though, so that's nice. We had some very pretty, what I call ocean water colors, the teals, the ceruleans. I like these very much down here. Nice greens. The yellows. Beautiful assortment of yellows, and that's really, I was lacking yellow in my own pastel collection. My studio box needed some more yellows. I was also impressed. They got a lot of lights. I couldn't tell if this was a true white. It might have just a tiny bit of yellow in it, but all these other light colors, very nice. It doesn't quite go as dark as I like, but I have my own set of darks just for my first layer of pastel on my paintings. So that doesn't personally bother me. I don't know if this is a standalone palette. I think you might need a couple more darks in there for it to be a standalone palette. But it does have the lights. I think it's got that covered. And if you have that first set, I think you're covered absolutely. They work well together. So, all right, enough me blabbering on. Let's get out some paper and do some painting. I wanted to give you a bird's eye view of my setup. My pastels are to the left of me, the main box working from the 72 set. Straight ahead is my workspace. I'm going to be using the Pastel Premier Italian Clay Shade Sanded Surface. That nice sandy bottom will work nicely for this. Now I am recreating this postcard, The Shallows. When I was in the Bahamas, I picked up this postcard from a nice little store. The artisan also has a lot of pottery and some other items, but I could tell right away that was a pastel painting. And I've never done the ocean in pastels before. So I'm going to recreate it, give credit where credit is due. Totally copying this to get down some techniques. I will have the information about that stored down below. Laying down my sky. These are nice and buttery. They layer beautifully. Everything is working out quite nicely. This set has a lot of the light colors that make beautiful clouds. All different kind of colors. Using that sand color up in the sky a little bit, just to incorporate the sand from the beach up in the sky a little bit. Yeah, it's a lovely cloud set. You know I like my cloud colors. I'm laying in some of my darks. The dark blue and the dark brown I actually had to use from the first original set. The set of 72 just doesn't have anything that dark. Other than that, I think I cut to the big box. Just throwing in some colors, getting that base down. Even though these were pretty soft, I was able to build on top of it pretty easy. I typically like to use a harder pastel for the darker base layers, but these were hard enough. They worked quite nicely. And I forgot to mention in the beginning, I used a piece of willow charcoal to sketch this out. There's that brown from the original set again. But the amount of variety for the teal blues and the ceruleans that make a very pretty ocean scene, this box had all of them. I was very happy with the color selection of blues. Now I did spray this down with alcohol once. If you don't like the smell of the spray fixatives, I suggest using a nice mist of alcohol. It sets it quite well and you can layer on top of it quite nicely. I was able to layer and layer and layer. I was pretty impressed by that. Now the bottom reflections I had to redo a few times. I'd get a layer down and smooth it out. Get another layer on top, smooth it out. It actually helped, I think, in the long run to make it look more glimmery through the water. But most of this process is me just trying to make it look decent. Overall, I really enjoyed the experience of these Paul Ruban set of 72 pastels. I am really enjoying myself, even really not having quite a plan on how to execute this water. Here's my finished painting of the Bahamas. I think it turned out wonderful. My final thoughts are these are very close to being Senneliers. Just a tad bit harder, but that's actually a good thing in some instances. Sometimes you don't want that extra buttery soft pastel. You want to have a little bit of oomph that doesn't lay down too thick. I thought these were very easy to work with. Easy to blend. I mean, all the things. There was nothing to complain about. This particular set didn't have too many darks. The painting I did didn't call for a lot of darks, but I had to pull in from the original Paul Ruban set a very dark blue and a dark brown to complete that photo. If you already have the first set, you'll be fine. There's a lot of beautiful bright colors in here. The amount of yellows you have is fantastic. Like I said, I seen these blues and teals and immediately knew what I wanted to recreate my Bahama picture. So yeah, I'm going to give these 2 thumbs up. I'm going to enjoy working with them. I'm not going to put these in my studio set. There's something about opening a box of pastels all laid out like this that I really enjoy. So I'm going to keep these special in their own box going forward. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me today. I hope it wasn't too long. If you like these kind of reviews, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you've tried these, what you think. Yeah, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.